Todd, congratulations on the milestone. What does it mean to get there?
Oh, thanks. Look, it's a huge honour to to look at some of the 10 players that are ahead of me on games played at North Melbourne. It's a pretty illustrious list to be on, and I'm really proud to have done it at one club. Really looking forward to the weekend.
Do you think, particularly being a ruckman, you need to add a couple of games or a percentage or something like that, given the physical toll that it kind of takes on your body?
Yeah, I think if we add 183 to it, that might help me catch up to Boomer. So I'll take that. But no, I think I think I take a lot of pride in the way I prepare my body and the way my body's been able to upstand the rigours that I've been through being a ruckman. So yeah, I think it's definitely a lot harder. But I think anyone that gets to 250 plus has done a few things right to get there.
And there's been a lot made of your form this year. I appreciate it's not one single thing, but why do you think you have been able to play the way you have this season?
Yeah, I think there's a few reasons. I think one is I'm really happy where I am with my life, and I'm in a really good place, and that I think that's where most things stem from. I think for me, I've been working really hard in my off seasons and really attacking pre-season. So I know, and I've got great confidence that the work I put in my body's going to hold up, and I've given myself every opportunity to succeed. And I think having that confidence going into a season helps. And then as soon as you start playing a few games early, well, that confidence continues to grow. And but I think it comes down to the work that me and my wife put in the off season to get my body ready is the big key to it.
Todd, Mitch from the West, congratulations on your milestone. You come up against a very young, up-and-coming ruckman in Sean Darcy. What sort of challenge does he present to you?
Oh, he's going to be massive. I think last year, he probably got the better of me in our one clash up in Perth. And I think he's got a big body. He attacks the contest really well. He's got a good set of hands on him when he's in a marking situation as well. So I think it's going to be a really tough game, and I think he was pretty impressive the other night from what I watched. I think it's a good challenge for me to come up against a big body ruckman and see what I can do.
As one of the more senior ruckmen in the competition now, when you come up against a young guy like that and you get beaten, how much does that motivate you the next time you face them to get one up? And what have you been doing to try and make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I haven't. I try not to think too much about the previous contests. I think especially when it's been so far between games. It's about. I tend to try and focus on my strengths and what I can bring to our footy club, and try not to worry too much about my opponent, because I'm sure he'll have a different tactic than he had last year against me. So I don't want to predict too much what he's going to do. It's more about what I can bring to the side, and I think it's great the way that ruck fraternity is really stepping up, and we've got it feels like you've got a pretty good ruckman every single week at the moment. So it definitely keeps us all on our toes, and quite a few young guys coming up.
You do though finish the season against two very physical ruckmen, Darcy and then Nick Nat. Is that a good way to finish 2020 for yourself?
Oh, I mean, I'd be happy if they wanted to give them all a rest and I could have a bit of a line to go. I would take that. Look, it is what it's exciting. It's something I think gives me motivation to finish off the year, knowing that I've got two really tough games coming up. But I think the challenge, and you need that motivation, that push to the end, especially when finals is no longer on the line. It can be hard to mentally keep going, and you need to find those challenges to push you at the end of the year. So it is nice having that competition and that challenge ahead.
When you say it's hard to push to the end of the year, Todd, though, do you feel like that given that you guys are in a hub and you're almost going to go home, that's even a greater challenge?
I think 2020 has thrown up an enormous amount of challenge to everyone in the world, and in the AFL world we're no different. So I think especially when we haven't had the success we were hoping for, and things like that haven't gone our way. I think definitely it does make it challenging, but we've got a pretty motivated group, and we've got a really good set of staff around us, which are keeping everyone on track. So I think we want to finish off the season well, and I think going on previous years, we've really had a focus on trying to finish well to get that momentum to go into the off season and drive the next pre-season. So I think yeah, as hard as it is, we're still focusing on trying to get better at the moment, and that's what main training was about today.
Is your law degree going, Todd?
Yeah, it's getting there. I'm into my third subject now, so between footy stuff and having a 5-month-old up here with me, probably don't get as much time as I would have liked to do the uni. But look, I'm enjoying it. It's a good off-field focus, and I think that helps me mentally, having a rough plan of what I'm doing going forward, and it takes away some of the stress of, whenever my footy career finishes in, whether it's 5-10 years or whatever I can work out with braids, I've got something to fall back on. So yeah, I think it takes away the stresses of what's next for me.
What sort of law fascinates you?
I'm not sure yet. That's the beauty of the course, is that there's a number of, you pretty much do every sort of different law there is. I'm going to it with a very open mind, and I'm currently looking at defamation and things like that, which I'm finding quite interesting. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to go still, and yeah, you never quite know what's going to tick my fancy by the end of it.
What about hub life? I mean, I think most clubs have moved around a few times by now. What's sort of the differences been between place to place, and have you got a favourite so far that you've stayed at?
Oh, I don't want to offend any of the places we've stayed, but it's been a challenge. I mean, every single time we've moved, it takes a few days just to get back into the swing of things. There's always trying to sort out, the right sort of rooms for all the families and things like that. So there's been a real challenge. I think it's taken a lot of effort from the staff and from everyone in those moves. So that was a real challenge. I think we're all reasonably happy at the Intercontinental in Sanctuary Cove at the moment. They've done a really good job, so I definitely recommend that one. We're all pretty happy, but yeah, I think it's been a challenge, and it's just it's 2020 now, so we're pretty used to having to deal with different circumstances, and I think you can always, in hindsight, you can always do things better, but I think overall, we've done the best we can. I think the AFL's got to be pretty proud and pretty rapt that we've been able to get this season done.
About sharing with other clubs, what's that been like? And have you had a teammate particularly that might have enjoyed the sun or a bit of pool time more than the rest?
Oh, look, there's always an interesting mix when you're dealing with different clubs, and I think we've had no issues, and everyone seems quite cordial. It's a bit weird having West Coast here, knowing we're going to be playing them in 8 days' time. But look, everyone's getting along well. You sort of keep to your own groups. You say hello as you walk past, and that's about it. And as opposed to who's enjoying the sun and stuff, I probably spend a bit too much time inside with a 5-month-old to notice anything like that. I think it's I've been pretty much inside every chance I've got with the family.
Todd, you mentioned 5-10 years a bit earlier. Has the milestone given you a chance to reflect on sort of the future, and is there a certain, the goals you want to tick off before retiring, or how long do you think you might be able to keep going for?
Oh, look, I'm trying not to put any timelines on anything like that. I mean, obviously, I'd like to play for as long as I can, and I feel the way my body's feeling, the way my mind is. I don't see there's no reason why I can't continue on post this contract. But my goal at the moment is to get through the end of the contract and see where we're at, see where the club's at, and hopefully we can continue on. I've made no bones about it. I'd love to get to 300 games and be the 6th North Melbourne player to do that. That would be a dream come true. But a lot of water's got to go under the bridge, and as we've seen by this year, you never quite know what's around the corner.
Todd, if a player stuffed up on holidays in Queensland, should they be sent home or fined, or have you got any thoughts as to what the AFL should put in place for the boys that do stay on?
Yeah, look, I think obviously I've read the different reports about different ideas, and I think it is a challenging one, but I do think that we've been very lucky that the Queensland government has allowed us to get this season up, and I think without their help and their goodwill, I don't think we would have got this season up. So I have a lot of hope that every player understands how lucky we are, and that for those that do stay up here, that will act appropriately. But I do also think that there should be, if you do have a act that is not up to standard, then I think that looking to send someone home or something along those lines would be a just thing, because we do have a responsibility to act and to uphold ourselves in a particular way.
Hey Todd, you mentioned this contract and seeing it out. When you signed it, there were offers to go elsewhere, and given the season the Roos have had this year, do you see the growth next year? Do you see the improvement coming that you want to hang around and help be a part of the next batch?
Yeah, I'm really confident in the group we've got. I mean, you look at the likes of Jai Simpkin, who's only 21, Cameron Zerha, Bailey Scott, Curtis Taylor. They've all taken real big steps forward this year. So when you add in players like Ben Cunnington back into the side, and we get Taron Thomas, who is another young guy that's really stepped up this year. So I think we have a really good mix of youth and experienced players. So I've got no reason why. And I think we showed early on, when we had our close to our full complement of players, that we were definitely right up in the mix of things. And I don't see why that isn't going to be the case next year. And I think the growth and the responsibility that some of the young guys have had to shoulder this year, hopefully will hold them in good stead.